There's a company that you might have heard of called Google. And in 13 or 14, they do this huge research project and they call it Project Aristotle. So the premise of this project, I think, is brilliant. There are a lot of teams within our organization, hundreds, thousands of teams within Google. We have a lot of data about the members of those teams. We know pretty much everything about them. Can we observe these teams and figure out how to predict the best ones? Like, what are the key characteristics of the best teams? And if we can figure that out, we can start to like reverse engineer and make better teams. Brilliant premise. They had, I think, 5 different ways of measuring successful teams. So they would measure sort of their sales and output. They would interview the leader of the team. They'd interview the members of the team. They could measure like sort of the learning and development. And there was one other, I can't remember right now. And then with those sort of 5 outcomes, they start looking at every trait, every variable that you could imagine. So they looked at personality type of the members of the team, the age of the members of the team, where the people went to school, where they grew up. And for 3.5 years of this study, they hit dead ends and found no concrete pattern in the data. Like, they could see teams of introverts performing well, but then they turn around and see teams of introverts performing not so well. And the same is true with age, personality type, everything. Mixed teams doing well, not so well. And after 3.5 years of this study, they almost gave up. But at about this time, one of the head researchers for Project Aristotle, she stumbled upon the work of Amy Edmondson from Harvard. Amy Edmondson didn't invent the term psychological safety, but she's on the cutting edge of like what it is and how it plays out with different groups. And it ends up, over the years, Amy and her team developed a way to measure psychological safety. So you can administer a short survey and get a measurement of the psychological safety within a particular group. So Google takes that survey, they plug it into the data, everything falls into place. What they discovered is it wasn't necessarily about like the makeup of the team, it's how, so sorry, it's how the team interacts, and ends up the teams that score higher in psychological safety interact better, they learn better, they sell more, they score higher on the surveys. In every single way you could measure it, the teams that score higher in psychological safety outperform the teams that don't.